everyone, thanks for pressing play. You are awesome, and we are talking great comics for March 12th, 2014. We are halfway through March, on to some great stuff. This year has had a lot of stuff happen in the comic industry and even here at our Shreveport store here in Excalibur Comics, Cards, and Games. Guys, in case you didn't know, you haven't seen our video before, we are Excalibur Comics, Cards, and Games here in Shreveport, Louisiana, and we have a store in Texarkana, Texas. You can find us online on Facebook. The link is down below. Our website, ExcaliburCCG.com. And this is a longer episode, so if you don't have time to sit down and watch the video in its entirety, you can click on the link below that takes you to our website where you can download the MP3, listen to it on the go, have fun with that. Thank you for our subscribers, our current subscribers, new subscribers. If you've never watched one of our episodes before, go ahead and subscribe. You will like what you are seeing. Guys, there's been some changes going on around here.
There have, quite a few.
What you want to tell us about that?
We were closed this past Sunday, and in that closing we went through and did a little bit of demolition. I was going to hey Kool-Aid through a wall, and they were kind of close together, and when I tried it, the whole wall looked like it may come down, so we nixed that, and I did kick my way through a wall. But
awesome.
We tore down two adjoining whatever walls, and we've brought in a couple of different new fixtures here. You'll see as soon as you walk in the store, along the windows, some new fixtures. And for anybody who's wondering, anybody who may have been a little confused, we used to have our spinner rack that had the hot picks of the week. They are still there, but they're no longer on the spinner rack. They're on the one of the, I guess they're kind of like magazine shelves, but we use them for everything under the sun. The little trinkets, graphic novels, comic books, everything.
Yeah.
So we've got that. We've kind of rearranged our merchandise with the shirts, the toys, the supplies, right. Different things like that. The games are all along the back wall in the space we just opened up now. We have put out the Star Wars merchandise that was behind us. It is out now, so come and pick it up. It's hot. I'm still in the process. You'll probably see in the footage that's going right now. You'll see I'm still in the process of putting some things up, getting the final touches on the store here. But tons of great compliments from people on it, and it gives a lot of optical illusions of it actually looking like the store's wider and more open than it probably is. I mean, it is lengthwise, but you know, it's the same size from one wall to the next, or from the cash wrap to the new comics, but still, it looks wider.
It does. It looks great. It looks great. It really seemed to. It seems like it really opened up a lot of space. You take a look at that back corner, and you're like, "Whoa, man! This is like a whole new world." You
weren't aware of just how much space that one area was taking up. And like I said, just wait till we get the rug because it'll tie it all together.
That's awesome. That's the finishing touch.
That's my Big Lebowski quote there. So, it really ties this place together.
That's awesome, guys. Come in the shop. You saw the video and pictures that Brad put in there while we were talking. Tell us what you think about it. It's awesome. It's expanding. Lots of changes. I like having those racks, the shelves right there when you walk in the front door. Yeah. And a lot of space opened up there.
And we even had a customer come in I think Monday, while we have everything everywhere, trying to get it back onto the shelves. And he said, this place looks great. And Chris responded, "Oh, thanks. We're still trying to get everything back out." And the guy said, "No, I've been to plenty of comic shops before. This place right now, as it looks great." So I want the guy to come back in after everything's up and hear his response there. Yeah. But thanks to random guy who walked in and complimented us.
Seriously, and a couple weekends ago when I went out of town, I went and hit like 5 different comic shops where I was visiting.
Yeah.
And this is a great looking and a great comic shop. Seriously. So
it's going to be awesome once we get our throwing stars in. our
the katanas.
Yeah,
and WWE
wrestling belts. Oh yeah.
That is not going to happen, guys. Not on my watch, I promise you. Guys, moving on. Now, I think we're ready for the question of the week.
Okay, question of the week.
Question of the week. Guys, if you can't tell, we're wearing some green. St. Patrick's Day is right aro's the corner.
This looks a lot like my Christmas shirt, but it's not. It's my St. Patrick's.
It's a St. Patrick's Day. But guys, St. Patrick's Day is here, and we are going with that theme for our question of the week this week. And that question is did we divide it up? We did Marvel and DC?
Yeah.
Okay.
So let's do that.
Here we go, guys. Question of the week. Who is your favorite green character?
Give us Marvel?
From Marvel?
And DC.
And DC. Your favorite green character from Marvel. One from Marvel and one from DC. Randy, go.
I'm up. I'm going with literally meaning green here, so I'm not going to cheat. And I love Guy Gardner. He is a Green Lantern, but that's not a green character to me. He's green in name only. So DC, I'm probably going to throw a name out there that a lot of people may know, may not know. Fire. I love Fire. She's my favorite green character. She's a green fire whenever she catches fire. So there's my favorite DC. She almost made my Justice League team. I love that character. And as far as Marvel goes, Fin Fang Foom was close. But I went with... and this is not just because of the movie coming out. Since I read Annihilation, I have really been intrigued by this character and gone back and read Warlock Chronicles and Infinity, the Infinity Watch, different ones like that. Gamora. She is a really cool character. I love the fact that they kind of made her a little more clothed in the most recent incarnation of her, because it never really made sense that she's the most deadliest warrior and she's almost naked
all the time. Huh?
Yeah. So the slingshot bikini was a little too 80s. We're more modern now.
Awesome. Yeah. That's just guys. For Marvel, for me, I'm gonna have to go with the classic Incredible Hulk. I'm a fan, and even more so because of what's been going on here recently with Mark Waid. I like what Mark Waid's been doing with the character. Yeah. Looking forward to the relaunch of the series with Mark Waid and Mark Bagley. Totally dig that. So for Marvel, mine would be Incredible Hulk. For DC, I'm a bit screwed because I'm trying to think of a green character there that would fit the status quo for me, but I'm kind of drawing a blank.
So are you going to need a cheat?
I'm going to need a cheat.
Okay.
Golly, this is my own question. I'm not even prepared for it. Trying to think of a green.
There's Beast Boy.
We'll go with Beast Boy. He's green. He qualifies. He qualifies.
There's Swamp Thing.
I never got into Swamp Thing.
Okay.
That is a great choice, but I am totally unfamiliar with that character.
Poison Ivy.
I remember another green character that I kind of liked back in the day was a Wildstorm character. That guy.
Killer Croc is another one.
Killer Croc's another one.
Who's the Wildstorm?
There was that Wildstorm guy, the Irish guy with the mustache, and he had like the thermonumeral.
Fahrenheit. Was that it?
I don't know. You could be right.
He was with Stormwatch.
He was with Stormwatch. Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's. I think that's who it was. He kind of was that bluish green.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Oh man,
I think Fahrenheit's the right name, but
I'm just trying to remember if there's anything DC wise. That's it for me though. We'll go Beast Boy for DC.
Yeah, and we know there are other tons of great characters out there that are not Marvel or DC. We have like Savage Dragon, and we have the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, Shrek. There are tons of great ones out there, but we're going to have fun, and we're going to say your Marvel and your DC character because that's what, for so long, that's what most of us have been reading.
Yeah.
So we're going to just kind of keep it classic here.
And then Randy and my all-time favorite character that does incorporate green into the costume, Boba Fett. Gazira! Guys, tell us in the sign in Google Plus. Tell us in the comments below who your favorite Marvel green character is and your favorite DC green character is.
Or Kermit the Frog.
Or Kermit. Yeah, how about Kermit?
I like Kermit.
Kermit rocks. And guys, St. Patrick's Day, have fun, but please be safe.
Kermit is technically a Marvel character now.
Is he?
Well, Marvel's produced and Disney owns Jim Henson Studios. Yeah,
there we go.
Yeah,
that's a little loophole right
Kermit
there.
Kermit works.
Huh? That's awesome. Guys, question of the week is over. We are moving on to the event storylines that are continuing this week, and we got quite a few of them, to be honest with you.
Yes, yes.
Several things. So what would you like to start off with this week?
Let's go with Forever Evil. Thankfully, we can see the light at the end of the tunnel with this.
Yes, we can.
We have Justice League of America number 13. Mm-hmm. This is kind of like the big battle. Will the Justice League survive? Who survives? What's going to happen with Stargirl and Martian Manhunter? My guess is that they're going to join another Justice League team after all this is over, called Justice League United.
Exactly.
The other Justice League characters, some will stay, some will go. There are things that we kind of already know, but we don't know how they get there. So this is going to fill us in and tell us how they get to that point.
Exactly.
So, that's cool to me. Also, we have Constantine number 12 coming up. That's part, I'm going to cheat on look on your side, part 16 of 18 of the Blight story.
Right.
And with that, we have Constantine facing off against Nick Necro. Nick Necro has kind of been, was Constantine's buddy for a long time, and they had a falling out. Zatanna was kind of involved with that. So they're having to face off for Zatanna's soul there. So it's tying back into something of his past, but it's still part of the Blight storyline, and it's going to continue on into Pandora number 9.
Awesome.
So we've got those, and since you have it and I don't because you caught this one, tell us a little bit about Nightwing.
Actually, guys, this is like when I saw this, I was like, really? Okay, finally. With all the talk and stuff that's been going on with Forever Evil, especially with Nightwing being involved at the very beginning of all this in a very catastrophic way for him, at least. This issue, Nightwing number 29, hits the shelf this week. Not only do we see the storyline that has been going on in his series, not related at all to Forever Evil, which involves him taking on Mr. Zaz. I'm probably saying that wrong, but we'll go ahead anyway.
I've always said Zaz, but yeah, Zaz, whatever.
But this issue right here is supposed to be a tie-in to Forever Evil. And Nightwing was like the catalyst that kind of kicked it off, or was involved with the very beginning of Forever Evil. Now we finally get to see the repercussions of that in his own series before the final issue of Forever Evil hits the shelf. And
before the final issue of Nightwing hits the shelf.
Exactly.
Because I think next month is the final issue.
Oh, is it really? Okay.
I think 30 is, so.
That's right.
So we're going to get 2 that kind of maybe tie into Forever Evil there.
Yeah, so let's see what changes are in store for Dick Grayson / Nightwing.
Yeah. All right. Another one of our events that's going on here. I'm going to go with something that I kind of know a little bit about here, because there are 2 other ones that are probably a little bigger. You're probably a little better equipped to talk about those. We have the Revolutionary War is continuing on here. This right here, I'm not sure if this tells us what part it is, but this is Motormouth. Motormouth was a fun character. This looks at Colonel Liger. He was part of Mystech, but now he's joined their the counter organization that is against them, MI13. We're a lot more familiar with that because that's Pete Wisdom and Captain Britain and everything like that. So now he's working against Mystech. Mystech probably doesn't like that too much, and somehow, somewhere in between, Motormouth is involved with that. And I will correct myself. I said I don't know if Super Soldiers was a comic, or if it was just throwing in some of the characters and calling them. Super Soldiers was, and I think they had like 2 mini-series, little 4-issue mini-series with Super Soldiers.
Okay.
And I know this because we have one on the outside of our boxes down below.
Okay.
So I saw them, Super Soldiers. Okay, yeah, it does exist. So
there we go.
So part of the Revolutionary War, and this is about to wrap up. I think this is just about done here. So talk to us about the other 2 big events, because you're...
Okay. Batman number 29. Guys, we got a little bit of a break. Last issue number 28, in the Batman 0-year storyline that's been going on. But if you read last issue, you saw there were some changes that are already in effect, like 6 months down the road, with Batman and some other supporting characters and Catwoman, different things going on there. But now we're launching into the final pieces of the 0-year storyline. So this issue continues it on. More of Bruce Wayne's past is supposed to be revealed. More of what's going on with him and Jim Gordon, the threats they've been facing, and we're nearing the conclusion now of that entire storyline with Batman 29.
Yeah.
Also, for all of you Guardians of the Galaxy and all new X-Men fans, the trial of Jean Grey is still going on. This week it continues. Part 5 continues in all new X-Men 24. Where we've got the X-Men and the Guardians versus Gladiator.
Yep.
That's going to be awesome. It's going to be beautiful, too, because Stuart Eminem rocks.
Yes.
But, guys, also, with this, we're going to see the fate of Jean Grey. With this whole trial of Jean Grey that's been going on, that's going to be happening with this issue and going into the next, which should be concluding in Guardians of the Galaxy.
Right.
And a major change for one of our all-new X-Men.
Yeah.
Which, if you've been reading the story, you've been introduced to what's going on.
Let me say, for some reason, we had a late shipment. Our all-new X-Men issue before this did not get to us on time, and so it did not get into my box when it got here, so I'm struggling to find that issue, so I'm behind because I have not gotten to read this. However, with the book that is the new solo book written by Greg Rucka that's coming out in May, I have a feeling I know who that one X-Men whose life is going to be changed forever. Who that is going to be. So, whatever it is, I know I'm going to enjoy this when I finally get to read it, but I just, all new X-Men number 23. Somehow, Chris didn't put one in my box. So, I'm a little sad.
It's been a pretty fun storyline with the trial of Jean Grey. I want to see how they conclude it. Because aspects of it, Gladiator's like really just, he's really pushing for something to happen.
And I don't know if we're going to get the old Gladiator that, back in the 90s, they kind of gave Gladiator the ability where he's nigh invulnerable as long as his confidence is there. And that was one of those things that he took on Cannonball. And Cannonball's like, look, I know that I can beat him. And he just stopped and Gladiator punches him and nothing happens. So I don't know if he still has that or if he's just uber powerful again. I'm not sure where his abilities lie.
I thought it lied in how much his enemy fears him.
Yeah,
the more they fear him.
Well, yeah, that's kind of what I'm saying. And,
okay.
And that's what when Cannonball turned around, it's like, nope, I'm not going to run from this guy. I'm going to face him on. And so I don't know about that. The other thing that you guys have to look forward to is, I think right after Guardians wraps up, we're going to be getting some new Guardian members.
Oh.
Yeah. One of them, for some reason, is Venom. I'm not sure why. I'm not sure how he fits in. We'll see. The other one, I think, fits in quite well with Captain Marvel.
Okay, yeah.
So, and speaking of Captain Marvel,
go ahead, bro.
Let's talk about some number ones that we have here. So, we're on to our number ones. Captain Marvel, number 1, coming out. Kelly Sue DeConnick writing it. And the real gem, the real treasure here is David Lopez on art. So, all of you guys who have heard me talking fairly recently, since we've been doing the questions of the week, I've been pressing just like how amazing David Lopez is on art. And you're going to get to see it here. His action is top-notch and stellar. So we have, once again, Captain Marvel trying to prove that she can be better, she can be more powerful, she can do greater things with herself, and they're going to push this with her. With this new volume, I guess, is what we'll say. So she is going to be kind of making a lot of life choices here, and I don't know if it's going to reflect necessarily right away that one of those life choices might have to do with space,
right,
or what. But she's going to make some of these life choices, and it's always fun to see them kind of flesh out a character's personal life. So it looks like that's what they're doing here. They in the first volume looked at who her friends are. Now they're going to maybe look at who are people that she could romantically love.
Oh, so there we go. Romance in the air.
Yeah, a little romance in the air. So we'll see. I'm looking forward to it there.
Cool. Guys, one that we talked about that we've really been anticipating for a while now. I'm going to go ahead and dive into it.
Do it.
Avengers Undercover #1.
Awesome.
Yes. Dennis Hopeless, Kev Walker reunite for this series, which is in some ways a continuation of what happened before with Avengers
Arena.
Avengers Arena, thank you. But then different as well, because we got 5 of the survivors of that incident going underground. Do you know which 5 it is?
Bloodstone, Hazmat. We've got who's the barbarian one with the axe? We've got him.
Antichrist, or
yeah, and I'm not sure who the other ones are. We'll kind of have to see, but I know we have those guys going there.
Okay.
So there's a cool core group.
Exactly, and they've infiltrated the Masters of Evil. They're going to try to take the Masters of Evil down from the inside out. But the problem is that once they get involved with these villains, they're spending too much time with them, getting to know them a little bit too well. Will they actually fulfill their mission purpose, or will they become more like them?
The arena world left them broken.
Yeah.
So they aren't possibly on the best page to be jumping into a mission like this. But the other thing is, if you guys look back at the beginning of Avengers Academy, that's where they took Hazmat and Reptile and some of these other guys, and they said, these are the ones that were so broken and messed up that Norman Osborn kind of recruited, that they have the potential to be extremely villainous. So now you're taking 1 or 2 of those guys and putting them into that situation.
Nice.
It can't go well. Somebody is going to end up caving and doing something that is beyond the point of no return.
Right. So guys, we're really looking forward to this.
Definitely.
It should be on your pull list. If it isn't, you still have time to add it.
Yeah. Another huge one, let me just pan down or up. Another huge one that is coming out this week is, this is kind of monumental here, because beforehand it was just an independent comic. Image now has picked up Stray Bullets. And this is going to be a threefer for some people, because we get Stray Bullets number 41 coming out, which is the final chapter. This is of a story arc, and it's been years since this book or this story was going on. So Lapham is finally getting back to this, and in the same week that he gives us that last issue, he also gives us the Stray Bullets Uber edition or something, which is 1 through 41, which is 41's coming out this week. Or you can get it all in just this one massive volume to read all that. But because this is number 1's here, we have Stray Bullets, The Killers number 1 coming out. And with this, we're taking a look at a brand new chapter, a great jumping on point for nobody or anybody who's never read Stray Bullets. It's a real world setting, and it's a lot of violence there. It's an aggressive comic, so it's not something that's easy to sit down and read. But it's not something that's meant to make light of violence with this. And this one's kind of cool. I'm going to read off some of the names here. This one focuses on Gary Goldsmith and his young son Asa, and they are involved in a certain accident here, a hit and run, and in this, it's just the hit and run. Then I guess it's almost like a noir. It just keeps tumbling downhill. Nothing gets better. It gets a lot worse, and they get involved with a young girl named Yummy.
Yummy,
yeah. So with this, this is called The Love Ride. This is going to be one of his story arcs that this says it focuses more on. I just lost it. I'm looking. Noir tradition turns it on its ear. Life and love. There we go. Why could I not remember those 2 terms, guys? I've been working all day, so I'm not the most prepared today for this. I'm rolling as best as I can.
You're still rocking. You're doing great.
So yeah, this is one of those where it's a twofer. He gives us the art and the writing. Lapham does, and
that's right.
It's awesome. That's all I can tell you is Stray Bullets is well worth picking up if you've never heard of it, or if you've maybe read just a little bit of it. give it another chance. Come back to it. If you've never read it before, here's a new one for you. That's about all I can say with it.
Cool. Cool. And I appreciate the fact that it is a genuine number one. Different storyline and everything, unlike what I'm about to talk about now. Apparently Marvel thinks that going 10 issues is too long without rebooting something. So we do have Secret Avengers number one hitting the shelf this week, written by Alice Cott with art by Michael Walsh. These two worked together at Image. Did at least one issue of Zero, his creator-owned series. Did some other things too, if I'm not mistaken, in the past. But we do get Secret Avengers number one hitting the shelf. This is a lot of the same characters returning, but with a bit of a different storyline. Are these still the most effective secret squad in the Marvel Universe? That's the question. We still have Hawkeye returning to the team. We have Black Widow on the team as well. And this issue kicks off with 3 different missions. One in space, one in the air, one on land. Or is it water? It's on the ground. And we're still asking the question, why is Hawkeye part of this team? What's going on with him?
Yeah.
And we'll find out that and more with this new series, this new Secret Avengers series. And from the preview pages that I saw of it and the way that those preview pages read, it did kind of remind me of Hawkeye a little bit. Maybe not the big, bold, out there action fighting going on, but stuff like kind of like everyday stuff, maybe behind the scenes type stuff that you don't see going on. That's what it reminded me of. I'm not going to say it's 100% going to be like that, but Secret Avengers number one hits this week. If you're a fan, you should have it on your list.
Also, you mentioned Black Widow. Spider-Woman is part of the group there. I've got to ask the question to Marvel, because this team almost seems redundant, because isn't this basically the Avengers Assemble team? It kind of seems like it's almost all the characters from there in this. I don't know. We may be hitting the wall where there are too many Avengers books.
Maybe. I don't know.
Hey, there are also tons of guys that you aren't using. We just made an example of that with the teams that we created there.
Exactly.
So, coming out from Dynamite Comics, we have this Gold Key. Have they had? Yeah, Turok has already come out from them. We now have Magnus Robot Fighter, and this is this is one of those that for some reason Dark Horse, I know, had the title or the rights to this and a couple of other ones, and they produced like 5 comics and then never produced anything else. Well, you now have Dynamite with it, and this is Fred Van Lint telling the story, and we have Corey Smith on art. So this is basically a guy that is a fighter in his time that somehow gets transported into the future, and in the future it's robots living with humans, but not in harmony. It's all in oppression there. Exactly. So he ends up, I guess, being the person that takes up the mantle of fighting for the rights of both humans and robots.
And there's a secret about himself that he's supposed to learn as well. And that may change things forever for him and the world that he's in.
He's the one.
Could he be the one? He's not the key maker. No.
Keymaster.
Keymaster, there we go. But guys, there you go. Another Gold Key, Golden Age type character coming back. And guys, we've been talking about it for everyone that's been coming out. But we have another one, X-Files Conspiracy, Crow, number 1. The Lone Gunmen have taken a look at the Transformers, the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. And now we're taking a look at...
There was one other one.
There was one other one. Transformers, Teenage Mutant Ninja
Mars
Turtles.
Attacks, something. There was something else.
There was another one. I can't remember now.
Yeah.
But now we got Transformers. Ghostbusters.
Ghostbusters, yeah.
Transformers, Ghostbusters. And then now we're moving on to the Crow. But guys, what's different about this particular issue that I can tell is that the Lone Gunmen are directly involved with what happens to the character that does become the Crow in this particular issue. So while in the other issues they may have been investigating and looking from the outside in, they're actively involved in what happens to the state police officer that ends up becoming the Crow. So if you guys are fans of X-Files, the Lone Gunmen, or the Crow, this is the one to get.
Yeah, I've been hearing from tons of people coming into the shop that they've been enjoying the conspiracy books. Cool. They've been fun.
Very cool. Very cool.
So good for you guys. That wraps up the number 1s for us.
That's it.
So we are now on to our favorites, the books that we look forward to every week or every month that they come out. Hopefully not every single week. Although DC,
I know, seriously,
don't make a third weekly comic, please.
What are you going to start off with, bro?
Oh, I get to start off. I'm going to start off with Fantastic Four #2 comes out
cool.
here.
Very cool.
And somebody needs to get in touch. I don't know if James Robinson is on Twitter or whatever it is. You need to get in touch with him and tell him thank you for what he's doing here. He has given us all new Invaders in just 2 issues. Bam! Has given us tons of story, tons of action, intrigue, and beautiful art to go along with all that. And in Fantastic Four #1, we got the exact same thing. He hits us with a huge whammy. The Fantastic Four, as we know it, will not last because something happens to every single one of those characters to break them.
Ooh.
And the story he's telling now is what leads up to that. I don't know if it's going to be at the end of this story arc. I don't know if it's going to be a long-term thing. I think, me personally, I think it would be kind of cool if they were to break up the Fantastic Four and give us another Fantastic Four. We haven't seen a new group of Fantastic Four in quite some time here. But with this issue, there is some sort of a swarm that has broken out. I don't know if it's from the Negazone or from another area. But it's broken out, and it's attacking Manhattan, and it's up to the Fantastic Four to take them on. And you're going to get it from, who was it, Leonard Kirk and James Robinson. So they've just, that first issue, I'm going to use a term that you use all the time, they killed it.
Oh, cool.
They absolutely killed it. It was everything I wanted. I'll say, as much as I loved Fractions FF, I was not a fan of his Fantastic Four. The first issue I read, I was just like, really? And with this one, it just left me going, oh man, what is going to go on?
Did it kind of remind you what comics are supposed to be, or I mean,
this is what I can say about James Robinson. This guy, in 3 issues, in 2 issues of Invaders and 1 issue of Fantastic Four, seems to have captured the essence of who these characters are, and given us an old school style of story. And this is something that, I'm sorry, for as good as some of these indie writers are on their own books, when they come in and they write Marvel or DC characters, they just don't really have an understanding, or they want to try and do something different. And a lot of us fans out there, we don't want that. We just want a good story that kind of reminds us of who these characters are.
Right.
And so this is what I've gotten from both these. And even though I know that he's going to take us to a point that's going to really suck because it's going to break the Fantastic Four, he just captured the essence of who they are. I mean, the loneliness of Ben Grimm, the Johnny Storm wanting to be this rock star kind of Hollywood type figure, the motherly figure of Sue Storm, who just can't stay upset at Reed because even though Reed's got his mind in the science, he still tries his hardest to be the father and stuff. So he just captured all of that. Yeah. So it's a must read, guys, if you can get a hold of it.
Very cool. Very cool. Guys, for me, Royals Masters of War #2 is coming out this week, and #1 was, oh man, it took me back to the Authority days. It really did. Simon Colby did an excellent job on the art for this issue. The writing, Josh Williamson? Rob Williams is the writer. That was great as well. But man, there were a couple of scenes, especially at the beginning of the issue, that just took you it really took you into that big widescreen action.
Yeah.
And just filled up the there was 1 2-panel spread that just was really filled up and just really super detailed and awesome. But guys, this world is so different, but still so alike to ours.
Right.
But with the addition of royalty of any kind from any nation being endowed with power from on high or from God or from wherever it comes from. And the more pure the bloodline is, the more powerful that royalty is. And this first issue we got to see a lot of background stuff. Even with Prince Henry, the young prince that's really trying to make a difference, getting attacked by another type of superpower royalty person. Man, it was great, and I'm looking forward to the second issue because Prince Henry did a couple of no-nos in that first issue, and now it's going to involve other powered royalty from other nations getting involved in World War II.
No-nos with the treaty.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. He was not the royalty was not supposed to be getting involved in what was going on with the war there. But Prince Henry could not stand by anymore. He just could not feel like he could stand by anymore and just watch people sacrifice themselves and die.
Would you say that he said, "That's all I can stand. I can't stand.
I can't stand no more." But guys, with this one, we're supposed to see the most powerful member of royalty ever, which is the Emperor of Japan, Emperor Jimmu, if I'm not mistaken. And he is supposedly over 1,000 years old.
Ah, cool.
So this Emperor enters the fray. I've got to know what happens. It's just a 6-issue miniseries, guys. So it's not it's not all out of your pocket. But I definitely recommend you get number 1, get on board with number 2, check it out. It's awesome.
And just a quick reminder: Rob Williams did write some Authority there, so he has some experience with Authority.
And I saw where Simon Colby did draw some Authority back in the day. What series it was, because after the main one wrapped up, like Brubaker came on for a 12-issue maxi, and there was a couple of others that did some maxi series or 8-issue series.
Yeah, or one like Grant Morrison.
Or one.
He may have gotten 2.
There was one-shots and stuff like that.
I think Colby did a one-shot or something.
Maybe that's what it was.
Speaking of one-shots from, just real quickly, John Ridley, who just won an Oscar for the script for 12 Years a Slave.
Oh.
He did write an issue, a one-shot for the Authority, and he also, we have the trade here in the store, and it may be in your store as well that you may want to pick up. He did a Wildstorm series called The American Way. And it's like an 8-issue series, and it's collected, and we've got that. So if you guys are wanting to see kind of what the comic writing is of this guy who has now won an Oscar, and he's working on the script for Ben-Hur, and there's something else that he just did that is going to be coming out soon, or that they're working on. So he's hot in Hollywood right now, but he was in comics at one point in time there for Wildstorm.
I kind of remember American Way. It was still Wildstorm back then, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, it was
Wildstorm.
Speaking of kind of these historically based comics that have a little twist to it with the superheroes, Uber number 10 is coming out. And we just finished up looking at the Russians and their attempts with the superpowered beings here, and so now we are moving back to the American front. We've gotten the German front. We got a little bit of America in their first failed attempt at getting a powerhouse out there into the field. We've gotten to look at what the Japanese were doing with theirs, which was kind of cool and kind of creepy also. And you have to love how the Americans figured out, keep your boats 10 miles out because these guys can swim about 10 miles underwater. They're kind of using themselves as torpedoes to strike the hull of the boats. And so that was cool. But we just got a look at the Russians, so we're now back looking at the Americans. Briefly with the Japanese front, we got to see that there was a young soldier there who happened to be the younger brother of the Americans' first battle. I can't remember the term that they use for him right now, but their first tank, their first big guy, and the USS Colossus was his name, and unfortunately that didn't seem to go well. Well, this one, he's now calling himself Razor, and he's got some massive powers. It looks like he may be even more powerful. He may not be as cocky as his brother was, and so this could be the guy that kind of turns the tide there. We'll look and see, but I think right now with the story, you're looking at him focusing really on 3 different fronts. He's going to keep coming back to the Russians, the Americans, I'll say the Allies, and the Germans. So we'll look at that. I'm not sure where the Japanese theater will play, or the Pacific theater will play into it, but great book.
Yes.
Great book.
Very enjoyable, very enjoyable. I'm really digging these alternate takes on
History.
Yeah, war history, yeah, totally. Guys, we are prefacing this one with the fact that it may be what we're saying and it may not be, as we have been proven wrong in the past.
Yeah.
But East of West, number 10, hits the shelf this week. This solicitation, if I'm not mistaken, is basically the same one that we were supposed to have for the last issue.
There's more detail to it, but yeah, it's the same one.
Yeah, because issue number 9 was the solicitations that we had basically told us this is what was happening then in issue number 9. And issue number 9 was a totally different story about the prince of one of the nations.
Yeah,
and
getting to know the prince, who's obviously going to play a big role, and then getting to see the sacrifice that Death had to make in order to learn a prophecy.
Exactly. So now, with issue 10, Image Comics, please get these solicitations correct, because it's...
the people watching want to know.
Exactly.
We want to give you correct information.
In this issue, we are supposed to see Death find someone who knows where his son is. And at the same time, the Ranger finds that same person. Someone shoots, someone dies.
Yeah.
So this issue, if you've been reading East to West at all, guys, you know that it's way more than that. But if it's that, it's going to be that as well. You know what I'm saying? But guys, this is a must-read issue. You should have it on your list. The first trade is out. And with this being issue number 10, the second trade should be out shortly. This is a must-read series.
Absolutely. Here's a big monumental issue coming out here. We have X-Men Legacy number 300 coming out. And the reason why this one, unfortunately, I have not been reading the X-Men Legacy book up until this point in time, but I loved Mike Carey's run on X-Men Legacy.
Oh, okay.
It was phenomenal. 3 characters I don't like: Professor X, Rogue, and Gambit. If you can make a book that focuses on those 3 characters and makes me want to pick it up first and read it, you are doing a hell of a job. And Mike Carey was doing just that. This issue sees the return of Mike Carey, Christus Gage. They're joining Simon Spurrier in telling a couple of all-new tales about some of the X-Men here.
Okay.
Mike Carey, he's going to start to tell the story about Professor... he's not a really warm body right now, so I'm not sure. Maybe it's a lost tale. I don't know. Christus Gage, he's going to tell us the story about hey.
Another one, huh?
Yeah. Well, hopefully Simon Spurrier can have more luck, because he's going to tell the story about Legion, but something must have happened there now, so who knows what's going to go on, but there's going to be something going on in this book. It should be good, because it's got some real talented writers there with it, and I want to see what exactly they're playing here, what the spin, what the take on is on all this. So
that's funny.
Basically I just stole what the solicitations say, but I've tried to do it a little more fun for you guys.
Creatively. So. That's awesome. Guys, another one from Image that I've been digging is Egos, or EGOS, Egos for short, number 3 hits. And this is the conclusion of the first storyline. This reminded me kind of what Dan Abnett and Andy Lanning were doing on Hypernaturals.
Oh, cool.
That they were doing through Boom. This big sci-fi action-adventure storyline. But this is its own thing. It's its own take on things. And with each issue, with issue number 1 and issue number 2, we had 2 big reveals about the characters, about the main characters, and then the supporting characters as well. But now we have this massive entity called Mass that is eating planets. He's kind of like a Galactus type character without the body, but he's a mass, and they are on the path to take him down and fight him, because the 4 worlds that he's targeting to consume is 8 billion lives in the mix there. But there's so much more going on. As I mentioned before, there's tension going on between the main character and his wife.
Yeah.
And then you find out other things that are going on as well, because the storyline starts with there being issues between the husband, before he was the husband to the lady that's his wife now. But at the beginning, there were issues between him and her mother. And there's been some other revelations that have happened in the first two issues concerning all 3 of them. The mother, the daughter, and her husband. And it's been great. I've enjoyed it. You should check it out. I'm on board.
Cool. Real quickly here, just because there's not a lot of information for this one, Dark Horse Comics, one of the best comics that they produce, and just one of the best comics all around, is Beasts of Burden, and it's Evan Dorkin, who was I think he did Bill and Ted, and I think he's done like Milk and Cheese, or there's something like that. He's done a couple of things. And Jill Thompson, and they have given us these cats and dogs who fight the supernatural.
Yeah.
And we've got a one-shot coming out called Hunters and Gatherers. Whether this is something that was a story that was told throughout the Dark Horse Presents, or whether this is something all new, I don't know. But it's collected here. If it was Dark Horse Presents, it's collected as its own thing, so you're not having to pay $7.99 a pop, even though that's a great price for all the stuff that they have in there. It's something that maybe if you're just wanting to read one or two of the stories, you don't want to pay that much. Well, now you've got it all collected into one thing. You can read it here. If it's an all-new story, then it's an all-new story collected into one shot. You can read it here.
Yeah.
They don't really give us any information about what it is, but we always know that it's the dogs and the cats facing off against some sort of supernatural evil. They're the ones that have to protect. The humans don't really know what's going on, so I guess it's because of the animals' heightened senses that they're able to figure this out. But if you've never read this or never looked at this, they have a gorgeous hardcover collection for it, and Thompson and Dorkin won an Eisner for this series back in 2005.
Yeah,
it's phenomenal. Her painted artwork just looks so good, and it's not necessary. It's maybe sounds kind of cute animals. There's a little bit of an adult theme to it. Sometimes.
There's an edge to it.
It's not necessarily little kid. It may be teenagers or something like that, and up can read this. So please get it, check it out if you have not before.
Quick aside: if you're a fan of Dark Horse Comics, and we talk about some of their new number ones that they have coming out, in most cases, in a lot of cases, these new number ones spawn out of Dark Horse Presents.
Yes.
Because, like, the White Suits that's coming up soon, or that came out already.
Yeah, the first issue.
The White Suits is from Dark Horse, but that was a story in Dark Horse Presents.
Brainchild. What was the one with the drunken, the guy that has to be on the drugs?
Buzzkill.
Captain Midnight.
Yeah.
I mean, the list goes on and on and on, where the Black Beetle, where they introduce these and say, hey, you might be interested. And then you have, like, long-standing ones, like there's a Neil Adams story in there. There are a couple of different stories that they just tell within that. Mm-hmm. So it's worth checking out there. I mean, Dark Horse is one of those that quietly, just because everybody focuses on the big two and then Image, produces excellent, some of the strongest work. Their library is one of the strongest ones, just from all the way through A to Z.
Yeah, very strong stuff. Guys, part 9 of All Out War, Walking Dead, number 123, hits the shelf this week, and simply ask the question: whose side is Dwight on? And I liked the game plan that that Negan came up with Lucille and getting her all gunked up, because that's all it takes.
Yeah,
that's all it takes, especially in this type of situation. That's all it takes. And if you've been reading, you know what I'm talking about. I'm not going to spoil it for anyone else that may be behind or anything. But we only got 3 more parts. It's 12. No, is it 14 or 12 parts? 12 part All Out War.
No, it's 14.
So we're a little bit past halfway point here. I couldn't remember if it was 12 or 14.
Yeah,
but
they said 7 months. 2 for 7 months.
Oh, there we go. So we still got a long ways to go, but so much has happened already.
Yeah.
So I'm looking for a completely different everything when this is all done. But I finally got caught up with the last 2 issues, and I want to see where Dwight fits into all this.
Yeah, definitely. This is my last one for me. I'm kind of downgrading this from an event, because the events are kind of petering out for the Marvel Now wave, and this one is the part 5 of 5, so it's not really the jumping. I don't understand. Deadpool 25 point now. Now it's monumental because it is a 25 issue there. That was always one of the big things back in the day. 25, 50, 75, 100. the quarters.
Yeah.
But this one has Deadpool. I think this is going to revisit some of the characters that he's come across throughout the series, and it's preparing for next issue, which is, I think, supposed to be the big wedding issue that's going to be going on. And for fans of him, especially if you're fans of Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., this is going to guest star Agent Coulson.
Okay.
So, lots of fun, lots of craziness, and I think that Jerry Duggan has really been he's had the spotlight on him right now, with a lot of people praising his writing abilities here.
Yeah.
So
yeah. Last one for me, guys. Superior Spider-Man number 29.
cool.
Part 3 of the 5-part Goblin Nation storyline, and we've only got 2 more issues of Superior Spider-Man. It ends with 31. But guys, what Dan Slott said about this storyline, that if you're looking for talking heads and all that jazz, it's not happening, because it has been crazy. It's been nonstop action, fighting, changes to status quo, even in this last storyline that's been going on. We've seen changes with Doc Ock. We've seen the Goblins attack. We've seen Mayor Jameson create his own fighting force. And there's still so much more going on, especially with Peter Parker. So guys, I'm definitely on board for the rest of this. And then this is leading right up to the new Amazing Spider-Man that'll be coming out here in next month, if I'm not mistaken. So
Yeah.
So there we go. But guys, this has been all out action, all out war, all out action between Superior Spider-Man, the Goblins, and now we got Jameson entering into the fray. So it's been fun. And that's it for this week, guys. It's a lot of stuff.
Yes, it is.
There's a lot of stuff, guys. We cover a lot of stuff, a lot of the new stuff, a lot of the stuff that we think are monumental issues or big issues, like the point nows and stuff like that. But all this and so much more is hitting the shelf this week at our location or at your local comic shop. Get out and go buy some great comics. Go read some great comics. And don't forget to answer the question of the week.
That's right. Who's your favorite leprechaun? I mean,
A leprechaun.
who's your favorite green Marvel and DC character?
That's right. Tell us in the comments below, guys. Thanks for watching. He's Randy. I'm Chris. We are ExcaliburCCG.com, Excalibur Comics, Cards, and Games here in Shreveport, Louisiana, as well as in Texarkana, Texas. Be safe and have fun for St. Patrick's Day. Leave us a comment below. We really appreciate everybody that engages with us. We love talking to you guys. And we've seen several of you show up over on our Facebook page, and that is awesome. Thanks for engaging with us over there as well. Anything else to add, sir?
Get us to 200 subscribers, and that's about it.
That's about it. Hey, we're closing in on 100 videos, so
Yes,
maybe something special will come up with that. We'll have to wait and see. Thanks for watching, guys. Until next time, be safe. Take care. Oh! Oh, that's wrong, man. Oh! That's wrong! That's wrong!
It's awful.
That's awful, man. Oh, it's God. That's awesomely awful. Oh!
That's like if you or I were to try that.
I know, seriously. Dude, no, don't do that.
He just decided to stop.
Oh!